your helper tonight?
They're very good.
Where's your helper?
Put everything in your mailbox here, I need to stand up.
I'm going to call the Board of Supervisors meeting to order. Please rise for a moment of silent prayer, followed by the salute to the flag. I pledge allegiance
To the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
I'd like to request the clerk call the roll.
Basson?
Here.
Weigelt?
Here.
Bratton?
Here.
Benvenuto?
Here.
Stats?
Here.
Keaveney?
Here.
Nair?
Here.
Lull? Here. Riley? Eldridge? Here. Beery?
Here.
Chipkowski?
Here.
Ligonia? Sterling? Here. Mia?
Here.
Chimidi? Here. Mussman? Here. Scalera?
Here.
Fuzzy?
Here.
Teal? Here. Morel?
Here.
Nah?
Here.
Skoda?
Here.
33, 44 present, 191 absent. We have a quorum.
Thank you. First thing I'd like to do is open the public hearing for the block grant for Germantown Telephone Corporation. I'd like to ask the clerk to read the notice.
It's a long one. Columbia County will be submitting an application to the New York State Office of Community Renewal for the 2018 Community Block Grant Economic Development Program, which is available through the open round process. The application process is an economic development activity and will include the administration and program delivery of such. The county will apply for the grant in an amount not to exceed $375,000. A project under consideration will provide financial assistance to GTEL Corporation. Assistance under the Community Development Block Grant Program must meet one of three national objectives: benefit to low and moderate income persons, elimination of slums and blight or urgent needs affecting the health and safety of the community. No less than 70% of grant funds must be used for activities benefiting low and moderate income persons, and the benefit area must contain at least 51% low and moderate residents. Our program must be designed to meet these criteria. A public hearing will be held on December 12, 2018 at 7:30 p.m. at the Columbia County Board of Supervisors Chambers at 401 State Street, Hudson, New York, 12534, to afford an opportunity for discussion and comment on the proposed application and to obtain the views of citizens, public agencies, and other interested parties. Persons requiring special accommodation are asked to contact the county prior to the public hearing. A copy of said application is available in the office of the Clerk of the Board of Supervisors. By order of the Clerk of the Board, Kelly S. Vaquero, dated November 26, 2018.
Thank you. Are there any comments from supervisors? Supervisor Knott?
Mr. Chairman, I'd just like to say I support this application, as not only does it help increase broadband services, but this application seemed like it had some promises to increase jobs in the area, and that'd be a great thing.
Any other supervisors? Any other supervisors? Okay, comments, Supervisor Mussman.
Yeah, I think it's a great opportunity for to employ people in our community who are desperately interested in seeking jobs, and expanding broadband is definitely a great opportunity for our community. Thank you.
Thank you. Any other supervisors? Okay, any comments from the public? Mr.
I'm Mike
Tucker.
Tucker with Columbia Economic Development. We've worked very closely with GTEL on this initiative. Not only is it a locally owned company, but it services a number of towns throughout the county with broadband, and we have appreciated the opportunity to work with the supervisors on the county's broadband initiative. And we also believe that this will not only be good for the expansion of broadband, but will promote jobs and make the county a much more attractive place to live and work.
Thank you. Any other public comments? Any other public comments? And with that, I'll close the public hearing. Next, I'd like to open the public hearing on the proposed 2019 Columbia County operating budget. I'd like to have the clerk read the notice.
Please take notice that there will be a public hearing held before the Columbia County Board of Supervisors at the Supervisors Chambers, 401 State Street, Hudson, New York, on December 12th, 2018 at 7:33 p.m. to consider the proposed 2019 operating budget for the County of Columbia. Copies of the tentative budget may be inspected and procured at the Clerk of the Board of Supervisors office during regular business hours. Please further note that said budget proposes the following as and for salaries of officials published herein in accordance with the section 359 of the New York State County Law. Supervisors, $14,000 each. Deputy Chairman of the Board, there's 2 of them at $17,000 each. Majority Leader at $17,000, Minority Leader at $17,000, Chairman of the Board of Supervisors at $30,000. The public hearing hereinafter followed by a meeting of the Board of Supervisors to consider any such other and further business that may come before the Board. By order of the Clerk of the Board, Kelly S. Vaccaro, dated November 27, 2018.
Thank you. Any comments from supervisors on the budget? Supervisor Stats?
May I stand up and address the board from the front?
Sure.
I actually jotted down what I wanted to say because I figured I'd probably jumble it all up if I didn't have it in writing. This is the first time I think I've ever addressed the full board in the past 11 years as a supervisor. But I have been serving as supervisor the past 11 years and currently the most senior member serving at this time. I have all 23 supervisors. I've seen 5 different supervisors serve as our chairman of the board. I was here before our treasurer, PJ, took over as treasurer, and I was on a committee who interviewed and recommended the hiring of our controller, Ron Caponera. Needless to say, I've been here and been part of the county's budget process for 11 years, and I'm having more trouble this year accepting another proposed tax increase to be passed down to our county taxpayers. I was here when we were dangerously close to depleting our cash funds in the late 2000s and carried a balance of around $4 million. There was a couple of years it was very difficult, where we had to juggle money around to cover expenses, even freezing salaries and spending, waiting for revenues to come in to pay our bills and payroll. I do not ever want to see our county in that position again. And at that time, we had a major slump in revenues. We had Pine Haven Nursing Home draining our cash to keep us going, or keep them going, and a retirement obligation that was continuing to rise every year. Now, revenues are continuing to climb year after year. This year, 8% higher than last year. We no longer have Pine Haven depleting our cash, and the retirement payment has peaked and headed back down. Our cash reserve has been built up from $4 million to around $11 million, and anticipated to add even more after this year from our current budget rollover from unexpended balances. We have continued to raise taxes every year, not to balance our budget, but to build our bank account. And over the past 11 years, we have done just that, going from $4 million to $11 million. And I know it is time we can give the taxpayers a break. I know this proposed budget increase is under the tax cap, but nonetheless it's unnecessary. We will continue to have unexpended funds roll over into our cash funds, and we do not need to keep compounding the increase to our bank accounts by raising taxes every year just because we can. I am not objecting to building a higher cash balance through unexpended funds, but I am objecting to continuing to raise taxes on top of rolling over our unexpended funds. I know a $156 million budget is not easy to balance, and I do appreciate the hard work that our chairman, controller, and treasurer have done to put this together. But I would like to see more of a reduction in spending in the budget if we are seriously considering passing yet another unnecessary tax increase to our taxpayers in Columbia County, just to increase our bank account even further. I think we owe it to our constituents to figure out a way to stop raising their taxes every year.
Thank you. Any other supervisors have any comments? Any other supervisors have any comments? Supervisor Sterling.
I'd just like to add my thanks to you and Ron and EJ for all the hard work. It's a tremendous job every year, and it's so detailed, and I just want to thank you.
Thank you, sir.
Any?
Just one thing, Matt. There was a small misprint in the Register Star today in the budget. It did say that there would be a tax increase of $6 per thousand. That's not true. That was a misprint. It has been retracted since then. What it was is that the tax rate will stay the same at $6 per thousand and not really go up with our increase in property taxes, or taxable property values.
Thank you. I'd just like to ask PJ. PJ gave me an update earlier today about how much money we spent today, PJ?
Yeah, today was not a good cash flow day for the county. We made the $6 million pension payment today, and we also did a $2 million payroll payment. Having said that, we're left with approximately about $4.5 million. Out of that money, $2.7 million is in the tax stabilization account. So again, we've made our payments. We haven't borrowed any money to do it. I appreciate Ray's comments, but I think just so that the Board of Supervisors know that in this year's budget, we have allocated the total sales tax dollar amount that we brought in last year. In addition to that, we've appropriated $1.8 million out of fund balance to address the increase in expenditures to hold the tax rate down. So if you put those two together, it amounts to about $3.3 million that we've allocated towards increased revenues towards this year's budget. And I just don't want the public to understand that we just continue to increase our fund balance and our cash. As you know, in March of this year, we passed a resolution designating how much cash we should have on hand. And that was, the minimum amount was $11 million, which we hit last year. At the end of December last year, we had $300,000 left in our operating account. And so it was a tight squeeze. So I think we're where we need to be. I think we've done a good job in the budget. Everybody in this room has worked on it, the chairman as well, and Ron. And I think we have a fiscally responsible budget to present to the public.
Thank you.
PJ, what do you expect our cash position to be by year end?
Again, it depends. Last year, we had a sales tax revenue that hit on December 31st. If that doesn't hit this year, that'll make a $2 million swing one way or the other. But I would like us to maintain that $11 million and hopefully increase that by maybe $500,000.
Thank you.
Thanks.
Does anybody else from the public have any comments? Anybody else from the public have any comments? Mr. Hunt.
Good afternoon, Supervisors. Good evening, Supervisors. On behalf of the Board of Directors of the Chamber of Commerce, I want to first extend a thank you for your hard work spending capital to improve our infrastructure, to stabilize our monetary position. And I just want to thank you for all of your hard work and due diligence in this year's budget.
Thank you. Anybody else from the public? With that, I'm going to close the public hearing, and I'm going to ask for a roll call vote on the resolution on the 2019 budget.
Resolution number 506, 2018. Basson?
Yes.
Weigel?
Yes.
Bratton?
Yes.
Benvenuto?
Yes.
Spetz?
No.
Keaveney?
Yes.
Nair?
Yes.
Lowell?
Yes.
All right, is absent. Eldridge?
Yes.
Fury?
Yes.
Chipkowski?
Yes.
Livonia? Sterling?
Yes.
Mia?
Yes.
Chimides?
Yes.
Mussman?
Yes.
Scalera?
Yes.
Guzzi?
Yes.
Teal?
Yes.
Morel?
Yes.
Knott?
Yes.
Scotta?
Yes.
3230A,
3230 A's, 114 nay, 191 absent. The resolution passes.
Okay. Thank you. I entertain a motion to pay the bills, accept the treasurer's report, and file the minutes within the clerk's office.
So moved.
Second the motion.
All in favor? Aye. Opposed? Carried. I'd like to request the clerk read the resolutions.
Resolution 448 of 2018 by Supervisor Keaveney, 449 by Bury, 450 by Weigel, 451 by Nair, 452 by Basson, 453 by Mussman, 454 by Teal, 455 by Grattan, 456 by Supervisor Scalera.
Supervisor Scalera.
Mr. Chairman, I offer these resolutions for adoption.
Second the motion.
All in favor? Aye. Opposed? Carried.
Resolution 457, 2018 by Supervisor Keaveney, 458 by Bury, 459 by Weigelt, 460 by Nair, 461 by Basson, 462 by Mussman, 463 by Teal, 464 by Grattan, 465 by Keaveney, 466 by Supervisor Bury.
Supervisor Bury.
Mr. Chairman, I offer these resolutions for adoption.
Second the motion.
All in favor? Aye. Opposed? Carried.
Resolution 467 of 2018 by Weigelt, 468 by Nair, 469 by Basson, 470 by Mussman, 471 by Teal, 472 by Grattan, 473 by Scalera, 474 by Keaveney, 475 by Weigelt, 476 by Supervisor Nair.
Supervisor Nair.
Mr. Chairman, I offer these resolutions for adoption.
Second the motion.
All in favor? Aye. Opposed? Carried.
Resolution 477 of 2018 by Supervisor Basson, 478 by Bury, 479 by Teal, 480 by Grattan, 481 by Scalera, 482 by Keaveney, 483 by Bury, 484 by Weigelt, 485 by Nair, 486 of 2018 by Supervisor Basson.
Supervisor Basson.
Mr. Chairman, I offer these resolutions for adoption.
I second the resolution.
All in favor? Aye. Opposed? Carried.
Resolution 487 of 2018 by Mussman, 488 by Teal, 489 by Grattan, 490 by Scalera, 491 by Keaveney, 492 by Bury, 493 by Weigelt, 494 by Nair, 495 by Basson, 496 by Basson, 497 by Supervisor Teal.
Supervisor Teal.
Mr. Chairman, I present these resolutions for adoption. Second the motion.
All in favor? Aye. Opposed? Carried.
Resolution 498 of 2018 by Supervisor Grattan, 499 by Scalera, 500 by Keaveney, 501 by Bury, 502 by Weigelt, 503 by Nair, 504 by Basson, 505 by Basson, 507 by Supervisor Grattan.
Mr. Chairman, I move these motions for adoption.
Second the motion. All in favor? Aye. Opposed? Carried.
I threw them all out.
Okay, do any supervisors have any other business to bring to the board? Any supervisors have any other business to bring to the board? Okay, with that, I'd like to wish everyone a Merry Christmas and Happy Holidays. We'll see everyone on the 27th at 3 o'clock for our year-end meeting. And I'd like to adjourn the meeting, but everyone do a moment of silence in honor of President George H.W. Bush, as you know, who recently passed away. So, motion to adjourn?
Motion.
Second?
Second.
All in favor?
Aye.
Thank you. Happy holidays. Happy